This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store Forged Irish Stout. Delighted to be joined with Michael Hunter. Suppose you've obviously got fight news of yourself, a fight coming up. But before we do get into that, we'll get into the big fight that has just happened. A former opponent of yours, obviously Oleksandr Usyk, becoming the undisputed heavyweight world champion, defeating Tyson Fury. I suppose instantly, what are your initial thoughts on that fight?
I mean, like I said, my initial thoughts was Usyk would, beat him as far as a decision and get a good win over towards the end. I thought Usyk would have had to do something to gain his respect or to win those first early rounds, and I think he did that. I think he was able to step up a couple of those early rounds and steal those early rounds. I knew that, he's better in the later half of the fight. And it just proved exactly what I said.
I was going to say that with a lot of the early rounds going to Tyson Fury, obviously being badly hurt, Fury being badly hurt and down in the ninth round. Do you feel like you saw the sway from sort of it got Usyk do as you said, then coming on stronger? Would you say you sort of saw it like that with the fight?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I thought that Usyk would lose the first half of the fight, but or to win the whole fight, he would have to win some of those first half of the fight, a couple of those rounds, and I knew he would win the back half in better fashion, which it was exactly what I said. Usyk he's been competing at a high level. And Tyson Fury's been spotty for years. He gets dropped. He's been dropped 7 times, they said, in his
Yeah.
career. Usyk's never been dropped. And he's won everything in the amateurs and, as a pro, as a cruiserweight. So I just knew that, competing at that level and having that type of, mental fortitude will push him through. Tyson Fury also has a strong mental, abilities, but as you could tell, that he does a lot of traps and tricks and gypsy things. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that uh, that ended today. We when you're in there with somebody like that at a high caliber, the games are a little bit different. You can't really play too many games like that.
Yeah. Do you think the fight should have been stopped in the ninth round?
I think it could have been. I think it could have went away and nobody could have argued with that. I think that it should have I'm not the ref, so I really can't call it, but if I was the ref, I would have probably stopped it.
Yeah.
He went from post to post to post and he could have easily waved it off with no argument. I don't know if there was supposed to be no 10 standing 10 8
Yeah.
count. But he also could have used the excuse that that he got dropped, but the rope saved him. So there's a couple dynamics there that could have went either way. And obviously, you guys want to see a great fight, and uh, he is who he is. So they were trying to just let him fight and come up off the canvas like they've seen him do plenty of times. So that's been in his repertoire. And so for somebody to do that, I think that, they deserved a chance to try to, fight back. So I think that it was a good call from the ref, but it's still a little controversial.
And when you look now, when you look at the Ngannou performance from obviously Fury, and then look now to obviously tonight was an ultra competitive fight between the two fighters. Obviously Usyk coming on top. Is there a fair argument to say that maybe that Tyson Fury is on the slide now after obviously suffering his first career on his record, his first career defeat?
No, no, I think that this was one of the best Tyson Furies that you've seen. I think he's been, like I said, he's been spotty. He has a certain peak, but he doesn't stay at that peak.
Yeah.
And Usyk has been fighting at a higher level and staying consistent. So I think that that's what everybody kind of recognizes, that he has the potential, but like I said, he's been up and down, and he does drugs and he does this
Yeah.
and he does that. So he's not really you got to live that certain lifestyle outside of the ring. I think that that's where, the victory was won tonight from Usyk. He lives a certain lifestyle in and outside of the ring. He's a God-fearing man and stuff like that. So I just think that the mental fortitude pushed him through this fight, which, it doesn't surprise me at all.
And I suppose when it comes to Usyk, and you spoke about earlier about how he comes on strong, he comes on stronger in fights. We see that in both the AJ fights, the Bradis fights, and obviously today as well. Why do you think it is about him that he is such a great finisher, and his engine almost gets better as the fight goes on, and especially towards the latter 12?
I think that it's really just his discipline. He has to kind of figure you out and try to kind of adapt. He's still using the same methods as he does in the very beginning as he does at the end. It's just that if you're not mentally disciplined and continuing to stay at that level, then you're gonna find some drops in your game. And I think that that's what Usyk is good at. He stays mentally fortitude and he stays disciplined in what he does. I seen him, he was breaking a little bit when he was getting hit to the body. He got caught a few times, but he stuck to the same game plan that he always does. And you know, uh, Tyson Fury was trying different things, and he was this way, that way. He was fluctuating, in energy. And um, Usyk knows how to manage his energy very well from the beginning to the end. We were just talking about it during the fight that he's like one of those guys that if you ever run with somebody or you ever challenge somebody in running, that they trail you right behind you. They don't get too far and they don't get ahead of you, but they stay right there until towards that end or to that later half, and then they have to pick it up. So I think that that's kind of like his strategy, and it's a good strategy, and he's practiced the strategy for quite some time. And it takes somebody with a mental discipline, a mental fortitude to and stability to beat him in that situation.
Definitely. I suppose now yourself being a heavyweight and looking at there's one guy that holds all the belts, and I suppose we don't know how long he's going to hold all them belts for. Excited, I suppose, that there's a main challenger that you could look for, and obviously someone that you fought as well.
Yeah, man, I would love to fight him back, fight him again. I don't know if I'll get that opportunity, but um, I've seen when I fought him, I've seen a lot of different holes. Even now, you could see that where he's not, it's not nothing super special about him. He's not super fast. He's not super strong. His main thing is discipline and stable. He has a great team as well. I think that was another thing that was a negative or a fault of mine that I haven't had a great team and a great support like he has. And you know, that's one thing that is very important. As much as we all get in the ring and we fight, by ourselves. There's only 3 men in that ring, and but usually the person with the greater team and the more support and everybody that has a great understanding of how you work and to push you where you're weak at and to stop you when you're going too hard and all that. I think that that's a very important thing when it comes to boxing. And you could see it when you see people that come out with victories and all that. And I have been unfortunate to have not the greatest support. I was just talking about it with my friends. If I had my father around like that and somebody to look over me and not having to learn on the job and through the business and just through all this stuff, I probably wouldn't have the hardest journey that I've had. It would probably be much smoother. But you can't, there's nothing you got can't look back. So we have to continue to push forward and continue to just create the team that we have and work what we got with the cards that are dealt with.
Definitely. Well, I suppose just going on to yourself, Michael. Obviously, I did see a June 7th date against Cassius Chaney for a WBA interim heavyweight world title. I also see all sorts of stuff going on. Billy Nelson going at you, a lot of Mike Bakole going at you on Twitter. Suppose what is the latest with yourself? Is it all locked in for June 7th?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be fighting June 7th, WBA interim title. against Cassius Chaney, who's a deserved opponent. Big guy, pretty athletic. Um, you know, he has a good size, good length to him. He's very honest with himself when it comes to certain things. So these are the things that he has. He has the makeup of to make up a decent fighter. I think that I will definitely become victorious that night. And as far as Billy Nelson and Bakole, you know, they're not missing anything because I was number one before
I was
they
going to
were
say,
number one. So I'm just getting my spot back, and thank God that I am. They should have jumped on it when they could have, but anytime they want that smoke, they just give me a call. It ain't no problem. I will definitely go over there, but they've never given me a call, and they've never asked for the fight. They've been running ever since they got drowned the first time, and it's understandable, but I just don't like that they have false narratives and they paint false pictures. That's not real. We all seen. You can just go back to the clips. We all seen him trying to quit. We all seen Billy Nelson told him, "You're not fucking quitting." The proof is in the pudding. I don't really have to do too much when it comes to that. Bakole has not beat anybody really, worth really, talking about. And he's had some, good spot. I mean, he's fought some decent little fights, but he's never been put to the test. And when he was, he got drowned. And so it is what it is.
I was going to say, do you ever find it a little quite funny? Like, obviously Billy Nelson obviously tweets a lot, and he tweets it yourself, and he's always tweeting, and him and Bakole are always talking about guys who've turned themselves, who've turned him, who supposedly have turned down fights against Bakole. But one people always say, rematch Michael Hunter, rematch Michael Hunter. So I suppose, do you find it funny in that sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's hilarious because he ain't it's all just it's a game, He's gotten money from saying that he was gonna fight me from his motherland, and I mean I don't think that's really cool. He's done some bad stuff. Uh, it just reminds me of a dirty, ugly fighter, and for them to talk the way they do, it's kind of it's funny at one end, but on the other end, it's a little annoying because, they're not speaking the truth and they're not honorable, you know what I'm saying? So if they would just stay honorable, I would respect them a lot more. We could actually probably make something happen, but they're not being truthful and not honorable about what they're saying, So, that's the truth and that's what it is, anytime they want to come get this whooping, they can. And, just give me a call, man. Tell your guys to make the show. We don't have to, it don't have to be for nothing, you know what I'm saying? Just for a mano a mano. But he knows when I looked at him in his eyes across that ring that he made an excuse, you know what I'm saying? I had torn rotator cuff, a broken knuckle, a broken hand in that fight, and all the odds was against me. I was a 7-1 underdog. I went to his hometown. I went to their promotion. You know what I'm saying? When they were trying to set me up to take a L. You know what I'm saying? And they thought I was a small guy. And you seen what happened. So uh, now that we all know each other and we know what's going on, it would be much worse for him.
Mhm.
So.
Definitely. Well, I suppose just before we do finish off this interview, what happens on June 7th against Cassius Chaney with Michael Hunter?
Well, I think we never know. I think the game plan, uh, when you're like I was just telling them, when you're fighting at a high level like this, it depends on the strategy and who's going to, impose that a strategy the best to their abilities. I think that at the end of the day, I will get the victory. I'm not sure how, uh, in what fashion, I mean, but I definitely will get it. I don't see me having too much issues with Cassius. I know he watches me and we have a lot of respect for each other and somebody like that, other than like a Martin Bakole, I have a lot more
Yeah.
respect for Cassius Chaney, you know, because he's truthful and he's humble. And but you know, we're friends and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know, we're here to, you know, do our job, and that's what I'm gonna be there to do on June 7th.
Top man, Michael, as always, thank you for taking time to speak to me. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, all the best on June 7th against Cassius Chaney, mate. And I
Thank you.
appreciate your thoughts, mate. Top man, thank you.
Thank you. One love.
Cheers for that.